Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. Let me have everyone please turn on your camera and let me get a screenshot with you in it. All right, very good. We have everyone's Zion, please turn your camera on. All right, very good. All right, Smile. All right, very good. All right, let me save that. I'll just paste this into Paint. And now, all right, so today we've got a couple of videos. Hold on, let me save this first. That's this is yeah. And okay. All right. So let me share my screen. And oh wait, some more people came in. Those of you that just came in, turn on your cameras, please. Let me get a screenshot with you in it. Let's see who. Good thing I took a screenshot. I can see who did not. Okay, it wasn't in the first one. Yan Yan, turn your camera on, please. Is your camera working?
I'm setting it. Give me 1 minute.
Okay, sure. No problem. All right, good to see all of you. Still waiting. Got a couple of, let's see. Let's see. Ooh. Fishroot, turn your camera on, please. All right. In the meantime, let me do another. Okay. All right, very good. All right, everyone smile. All right, very good. All right, so let's get that saved here. And there we go. I hope everyone had a great holiday weekend, long weekend. A lot of places Friday. A lot of people had that day off as well. All right, so today we will be going, oh no, what happened? Hold on. I inadvertently closed a window, which I didn't mean to do. And it closed my windows. Oh, I didn't mean. Oh well, that's all right. Here we go. So yeah, today we'll be covering share. Yeah. All right, so we have the Fusion Computing. Make your IT operations secure, scalable, smart with these IT operations best practices. We have the article, and we have a couple of videos. Now, as I've mentioned before, on week 1, we went over the syllabus. This book does not have a class, so they'll just have articles and videos, which, you know, it's fine. You can get some of the latest stuff. We also have a discussion assignment this week. Please note that the initial post to the discussion assignment is due on Thursday, and you need to respond to at least 2 of your classmates, 2 of your peers by Sunday. Now, you do not have to wait until Thursday to submit. I'm sure all of you know this, but I've had people wait till the last minute. That's fine. But if you want to do that early, that's fine too. And make sure you're responding just so we can have a lively discussion. It's really no fun if everyone waits till Sunday to respond, because then you don't see everyone's waiting to the last minute. So for the discussion assignment in this week's article and videos, there are several areas of IT operations addressed. Select one specific area, such as disaster recovery, business continuity, networks, security, servers, etc., and research how that particular area can be integrated within the business strategy. Discuss the impacts of that area on business operations and the priority it should have. All right, so they kind of lump disaster recovery and business continuity as one. A lot of places, sometimes they do that. Sometimes these are listed separately, and they are separate things. Disaster recovery, you're recovering from the disaster, and in business continuity, the business is actually continuing. Now, disaster recovery, as you know, is very important for a business to have a way of making sure all of the employees are safe. In the event there is a disaster, whether it is a fire or a flood or a tornado or an earthquake or hurricane or what have you, you want to make sure that all of the employees are safe, first of all. Second of all, you want to make sure the data is safe, make sure the information is backed up, and so forth and so on. And then business continuity. The employees are safe, the data is backed up, but the building or the facility or what have you is destroyed. You have to have a way of continuing the business. Is there a hot site or another location where the business can be set up for all of the information that was backed up can be reinstalled or accessed in some way? Networks, different types of networks, network security, servers, and so forth. So, all right, so without further ado, let's take a look at this first article.
Professor, should we use peer-reviewed articles? And if so, how many?
Good question. Since it's just a discussion, you want to have at least two references.
Okay.
One can be peer-reviewed. One can be if you want to, you can use a YouTube video. You can use a blog. But yeah, you want to have at least two sources. Excellent question, by the way.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so the first article here is Top IT Operations Best Practices 2022. Move this out of the way so I can see the screen. All right, so here, and it's a couple of years old, but it's still somewhat relevant. 2022 brings new challenges and opportunities in the world of IT operations. Oh. Okay, so in this article, we'll take a look at some of the top IT operations best practices that are shaping how businesses manage their IT. We'll also explore how businesses can prepare for these challenges and take advantage of new technologies that will become available. One thing is for sure, businesses that don't adapt their IT operations strategies will find themselves at a disadvantage compared to those that do. So what is IT operations management? Yeah, still hot. IT operations management, ITOM, is the process of managing and organizing all aspects of an organization's IT infrastructure. This includes everything from network architecture and security to systems administration and database management. In short, ITOM is responsible for ensuring that all components of a company's IT infrastructure work together effectively to achieve business success. There are a few key areas that are typically included in ITOM. Service management. This is the process This is the process of designing, delivering, and managing IT services. It includes everything from planning and budgeting to service level agreements and incident management. Then we have infrastructure management. This involves managing all the hardware and software that make up an organization's IT infrastructure. It includes things like servers, storage systems, networks, and applications. Security management. It's the process of ensuring that an organization's IT infrastructure is secure from threats. It includes things like identity and access management, incident response, and vulnerability management. And compliance management. This involves making sure that an organization's IT infrastructure complies with all relevant laws and regulations. It includes things like data privacy and security, as well as industry-specific compliance requirements. And we have some consequences of poor ITOM and why you need to follow best practices in IT management. Have you just onboarded a new technology only to realize it doesn't really fit with where your business is heading? Is your IT staff spending hours fighting fires every day? Not having a well-organized and effective IT operation strategy can easily lead to routine system failures and increased downtime, rising IT costs, delay product launches, and slow service delivery. Open up vulnerabilities in your security framework. Leadership that struggles to understand how IT is contributing to the business. This is a biggie, okay? And I've said this in other classes, and just from experience, a lot of times leadership, management doesn't understand, well, it's not as true as it was years ago, but in some instances, it's still true. A lot of times you'll have managers who are not necessarily technically savvy. They don't understand how IT works. And sometimes, you know, if you're in a huge, complex corporation, they'll walk around and see the IT people sitting around, not really doing anything, and they'll see other people running around doing things. Like, why do we need these people? And then all of a sudden there'll be a shakeup and they'll lay off a lot of IT people because they think that they're not needed. And then something happens, there's a problem, and then upper management will say, well, what do we do? What do we fix it? Oh, well, you laid off Joe. He's the one who took care of that. And I've seen that happen many times. I can't stress the fact that it's important that you look like, if you're depending on where you're going to be working, you want to make it look like you're busy, like you're doing something, like you're working on something. Don't look like you're sitting around doing nothing, because people see this and they observe it and they're like, why are we paying this person all this money? And it happens. It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot. And it's something that, just something to be mindful of. All right, so I'm glad they put that in. So moving right along, 6 IT operations best practices in 2022 you need to know about. Project management. Is this it here? Is this something for me to click? All right, so what can you do to prepare for these challenges? Here are 6 IT operations and best practices that will be essential in 2022. Look past aligning IT with business goals. Aim for business integration. Align IT operations with business goals has long been the war cry of CIOs. However, it's no longer enough in order to be successful in 2022 and beyond. Businesses need to integrate their IT operations with their overall business strategy. This means taking a holistic view of how IT can support and enable all aspects of the business, from product development to customer experience. Doing this will require IT operations teams to work closely with other departments such as sales, marketing, and finance. It will also necessitate a shift in mindset from thinking of IT as a cost center to seeing it as a strategic asset. A great example is Apple, a company known for its innovation in product design. This is in part due to the fact that they have a very strong IT operations department that is closely aligned with their product development teams. Everything from design tools, collaboration platforms, and testing environments are focused on product development. By taking this approach, businesses will be better positioned to adapt to changes in the business environment and stay ahead of the competition. Number 2, encourage process-based IT operations management. In order to achieve business integration, IT operations teams need to move away from a task-based approach to management and adopt a process-based approach. You know, I mentioned that story about where I worked previously. I won't mention the name of the company, where they laid off a lot of IT people. I was there when this happened, and people were in charge of certain things, you know, like back end and then backups and things like that. And these people had been let go. And when there was a problem, the people that were let go, who were basically laid off or fired, I remember the manager actually calling them on the phone and asking them, hey, how do you fix this? I was like, man, you just laid these people off. They're not going to help you. And it was a situation where right then and there, change needed to be made. That's when a lot of the people, upper management, people who actually did the layoffs, were the people that were walking around seeing who they could get rid of. A lot of those people got let go. And there was a big shakeup. It was interesting being how should I describe it? A fly on the wall, so to speak, just observing all of these things in action. But I'm glad that they made this point here. Leadership that struggles to understand how IT is contributing to the business. So, all right, so moving right along. Encourage process-based IT operations management. In order to achieve business integration, IT operations teams need to move away from a task-based approach to management and adopt a process-based approach. This means creating repeatable processes and workflows that can be used across the organization for managing different aspects of the IT infrastructure. Processes should be designed with flexibility in mind, so they can easily adapt to changes in the business environment. They should also be well documented and easy to understand so they can be followed by all members of the IT team. Adhere to this IT operations management best practice, not just to improve the efficiency of IT operations, but also quality assurance. So this needs to be part of all IT process always. Cybersecurity isn't a one-time deal. You've got to keep it front and center every time. Learn if your processes support a secure organization. Then we have deploy AI ops tools. AI ops, or artificial intelligence for IT operations, is a growing field that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to help organizations optimize IT operations. AI ops tools can perform a variety of tasks, including IT operations, monitoring and issue resolution, performance monitoring, capacity planning, service level agreement, SLA management, and event correlation. Automated ITOM is allowing companies to optimize capacity better, migrate workloads, and implement more effective security information and event management, SIEM solutions. And number 4, get ahead of IT issues instead of fretting over outages. The IT ops team are no longer firefighters chasing the next event. With real-time IT operations monitoring, They are finding and fixing problems before users have a degraded experience. In a product-focused world, IT ops will collaborate with the people who created these services from the moment an issue is detected to ensure that errors are identified and addressed quickly. The best way to deal with outages is to have an effective incident response plan. Use monitoring tools that will help you detect issues before they cause an outage. By doing this, you can fix the issue before it causes major problems. This plan should include who to contact, what needs to be done, and how to communicate with customers and other stakeholders. 5, make scalable IT infrastructure a bigger priority in 2022. As your business continues to grow and expand, it's important to have an IT infrastructure that can scale along with you. If your IT infrastructure is not scalable, it will eventually become a bottleneck that prevents the rest of your business from growing. Here are a few IT management and operational planning parables you've heard before and will continue to apply long into 2022 and beyond. Use cloud services. They allow you to quickly add or remove resources as needed, which makes them perfect for businesses that are constantly expanding and contracting. Ooh, that's good. Invest in big data and analytics tools. By analyzing the data collected, you can identify trends and patterns that will help you with capacity planning, issue redressal, and more. Use containers and microservices. They allow you to break down your applications and infrastructure into smaller pieces, which makes them easier to manage and scale. Simply put, the goal is ensuring your company has room to maneuver when the competitive landscape shifts rather than waiting months or years for contracts to run out. And then 6, IT operations management best practices, not just buzzwords. Not just buzzwords. Small and mid-sized businesses often have to make hard choices when it comes to investing and managing expectations. Digital transformations can be extraordinarily expensive, especially if you're trying to do it in-house. And many of the IoT goals we've discussed here can seem very cost prohibitive. Managed services providers, MSPs, help solve this problem by giving businesses access to expert project management hardware and solutions that make IT operation strategy easier to plan and execute, even on a budget. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, it's important to partner with an IT company that's on the cutting edge. At Fusion Computing, all right, so this is the ad for the article. All right, so a few good things here. Good tips. All right, so let's go back here. Next thing we have is a video. Were there any questions on the article? Oh, does some other people come in? Let's see. No, that's everyone. All right, couple of things I wanted to go over with you. Several people had difficulty getting into GAP over the holiday weekend. I'm not sure if GAP was down or if there was an issue. Those of you that emailed me your assignments, don't worry, I will get to them to grade them. I didn't get a chance to do that today, but I will get all of that grading in no later than tomorrow. As far as issues like that, if you do have a problem with GAP trying to get or trying to upload or submit your assignment, I should say, let me know, send me an email and just email it to me. That's not a problem. I prefer that if you can get into GAP, you send it, you submit it and through GAP. But if you have issues like some of you did where the site was down or it was giving errors, that's not an issue. When you go in to do the discussion questions, as I mentioned, they're due Thursday, but you don't have to wait till Thursday. You can turn them in earlier. and the responses to your classmates or to your peers, classmates, are due Sunday, but you don't have to wait till the last minute on Sunday. I had several people in another class, they waited till 11:30 at night on Sunday to turn in the responses. And that way you want to make sure that you can give your fellow classmates a chance to respond to your, so you can do it early. You don't have to wait until the last minute. That way we can, have a lively discussion in the discussion forum. A couple of other things. Some of you weren't able to get into class last week, or you were added to the class late. If that happened and you missed the first class, if you haven't done so already, just review the Zoom video and then do the VCS assignment. All of you, hold on, let me just go back here to the class. I went over this week one. I just wanted to kind of go back, and right here is the VCS template. If you're not aware of where it's at, you should be able to see my screen now. You can just follow the template, and the template is in APA style, okay? So you see how this edge is like jagged. It's not nice and smooth like this side. This is APA style. If you right justify it so that it's smooth like this side, it makes extra space between the words, and it's not APA style. So make sure you don't have this margin on your papers set to make it nice and neat on this side. Don't have it right justified. Usually that's what it's called. All right, and then here they say for a master's class, supposed to have reference. Okay, this is called a hanging indent. Okay, the hanging indent means the first line, it goes all the way to the margin, and then the second and third, or however many more lines you have, are indented. This indent is hanging over the hanging indent. This is how your references should appear. Okay, now also with the references, please make sure you are including the URL, the http://www, blah, blah, blah. Make sure you have that in your references. All right, and then, because I saw a couple of assignments where they weren't in APA style, but this template kind of shows you how, your references should look like this. You have this hanging indent, okay? Not indented like this, okay? You want the hanging indent. All right, like that. All right, next we have, someone had a question on the discussion questions as far as how many references we're supposed to have. Now, I usually say a minimum of 2, but let me double check, because some classes it's different. And I just want to make sure. Where is it? Discussion requirements. Okay, all discussions are due Thursday, 200 words, critical thinking, 2 responses. Each peer response must be at least 50 words or longer, okay? Engage with any other original, if any time, must be cited following. Okay, yeah. Make sure you cite your sources. Make sure you put references in your discussions. But it doesn't say how many references, so we'll just go with 2. Minimum of 2 is fine. All right. Now, that was basically it. Oh, and with the Zoom link, you can see the recording here, and I also posted in the announcements. There you go, the Zoom recording. All right, let's go back here. Now, were there any questions? Any other questions? No questions? Okay. All right.
Professor.
Yes.
Yes, so last week I was having the gap problem. As that thing is resolved, I'm able to see the link and password, but I still don't know why every time I'm trying to submit the assignment, it shows submit, and then when I go and check that is it submit or not, and it shows error and it's saying like nothing has been submitted. I don't know why it's showing that. So I've already taken a screenshot and I've submitted to the IT technology department for that.
Okay,
And yeah, do you want me to still send you my assignment by the email at the end of the night?
that's fine. If you can't submit it, if it doesn't let you in GAP for some reason, if you're getting that error, because I know they've changed how you put a trouble ticket in also. Just
Yeah, that
email it
was
to
the
me.
worst
That's
part.
not a problem.
Okay. All right. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
just
Professor.
email
I'll
it
do
to
it by tonight.
Okay, that's fine. That's not a problem.
All right. Thank you so
I know
much.
several people were having that same issue. And I don't know if it was something to do with maybe it was a holiday weekend, some things were down, who knows. But are you still having that issue?
The link issue? No, the link issue is being solved, but I try to refresh it like before the class, and it was still showing me like I haven't submitted anything. I don't know from your end, is it showing that I have submitted or no? After the
Oh,
class,
hold on.
if I'll just remind you, like, can you please check it after the class? I'll just remind you again.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Professor, even I was
That's
having
not a
the same
problem. Just
issue, but
yes.
I was having the same issue, but it has been resolved now. I guess
Okay.
submitted. Yeah.
All right. So some people, I mean, quite a few people had the problem. So that's understandable. If that happens, just let me know, send me an email, and then just email it to me. That's fine. All right. So let me go in here and oh, excuse me. Yeah, there was something else. It might just be an error with GAP because there we go. I had to refresh the screen. I don't have it shared, by the way, but it was giving me the same error. And I hit refresh 2 or 3 times. And now I can go in and see the submissions.
Yeah, Professor, it's
Let's
error. I
see.
tried to submit like 3 times, resubmit, and it shows again the same error, even if you refresh it more than once. I don't know if it's from GAP
Yeah.
or Turnitin because it says like Turnitin something code error. So I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, so we'll have to put a trouble ticket in for that. Hopefully they can get it resolved. I'm sure if it's happening to this class, it's probably happening across the board, but we'll see. I'll put one in after class this evening. But I was getting the same error, and for some reason I just hit refresh, but I had to do it a couple of times, and it popped up. I was able to see it earlier today, but then I went in, or I should say this week, and I was able to see it. I believe it was Saturday I went in. I was able to see everything, but just now I went in just to see, and it wouldn't let me in. But I'm in now, so something's off. I'll have to get it. I have to get that fixed. Hopefully they can get this resolved. Yeah, Muhammad, you're gonna have to email it to me. I don't see it.
All right, Professor, I'll do it again. You don't see
Yeah,
my...
just well, did you already email it to me? Hold on, I didn't check.
No, not yet. I haven't emailed you yet.
Okay. Yeah, I see several other people have emailed me, and that's fine. I just haven't gotten around to.
But you cannot see
So
the assignment on the GAP, right? From my end submission.
no, I don't see it here.
Okay, all right, Professor. I'll do that. I'll just resend you on the email.
Okay, and if anyone else had the same issue, just as I mentioned, just email it to me. That's not a problem. I can grade it that way. All right. So hopefully that gets resolved soon. All right, so let's go back in here to week 2. Let me go and share my screen again. And we have oh wait, let me stop sharing. Hold on, I have to make sure I share with sound. All right, that's shared. It sounds so that you can hear the video. All right, so moving right along. And Muhammad, just so that you know, you were not the only one who had that issue. I mean, several people emailed me the assignment. So just not a problem, just send it to me. I'll get that and I'll grade it.
All
All right,
right.
moving right along.
Thank you so much, Professor.
Uh,
And I'm sorry for the
you're welcome.
inconvenience.
No, it's not anything. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's an issue with it's probably just an issue with either GAP or with Turnitin.
All right.
So well, I'll put a ticket in as well after class. Yeah, so moving right along here, we've got move this out of the way. All right, so the next thing we have here is actually a couple of videos. First one being, what is ITOM, IT Operations Management? IT Operations Management Explained. So we've got this guy with the grin, Stephen Mann. He is ITSM Tools Principal Analyst and Content Director. Let's take a look at that.
Hello and welcome to the first in a Fresh Service video series on IT Operations Management, ITOM for short. In the next few minutes, we'll look at what ITOM is, why it's needed, and what it offers to organizations. I'll start by defining ITOM. However, there are various definitions out there, depending on the perspective of the definition provider, because unlike IT service management, there's not an accepted industry-wide definition. ITOM software is the set of IT management capabilities organizations need to effectively manage the provision, capacity, availability and performance of the IT infrastructure, which includes computing, network and application resources. This definition is indicative of the issue we have in defining what ITOM is and where it sits. That ITOM is commonly technology defined, and each ITOM solution vendor has its own view of what ITOM is based on its solution's capabilities. The simplest way to describe the why of ITOM is to talk about the ever-increasing reliance organizations have on technology. Whether this is in delivering products and services to customers, engaging those customers throughout the customer lifecycle, or enabling employees to do the work they need to do when they need to do it. In addition to this increased importance, there's also increased IT volumes and complexity, with IT services potentially leveraging a mix of on-premises, cloud, and other third-party provided capabilities. ITOM capabilities allow organizations to understand how well their IT infrastructure, including applications, performs and remedy issues as needed, ideally before the issues adversely impact business operations and outcomes. When positioning ITOM against IT service management, the first certainty is that it's not an either-or situation. Beyond this, the grey starts to appear in whether ITSM is a subset of ITOM, ITOM is a subset of ITSM, especially with ITIL4's broader coverage, or if they sit alongside each other with a degree of overlap. The second certainty is that they aren't entirely disparate capabilities, nor precisely the same thing. There's some overlap, no matter the perspective taken. In technology solution terms, some ITOM tool vendors might offer basic ITSM capabilities such as help desk. Some ITSM tool vendors might offer specific ITOM capabilities, and both ITOM and ITSM tool vendors will offer capabilities that will be beneficial across both IT management disciplines, even if they don't market them as such. This blurring between ITOM and ITSM became more complicated when ITIL4 was created on a much broader canvas, and some ITSM pros might now consider that the new body of ITSM best practice guidance houses ITOM. However, if you prefer to keep the separate disciplines perspective, the statement that ITSM is focused on the services consumed by end users, while ITOM is focused on the IT infrastructure and its components, is a helpful differentiator. Finally, another perspective to consider that's helped by the earlier definition is that ITOM isn't a distinct thing. Instead, there's only IT operations and the technology they use, ITOM software. Despite the difficulties of defining what ITOM is and isn't, we can talk about some of the typical ITOM capabilities seen in ITOM and IT service management tools. Ideally, we should take a business perspective of these ITOM capabilities, where, as with all aspects of IT, there's a need to consistently deliver the technology enablement an organisation needs. But the reality is that the capability-based definition of ITOM is heavily influenced by the available technology functions and features, with this differing by technology vendor. So here's a list of what an ITOM tool might include, not a list of what every ITOM tool offers, nor what every ITSM tool vendor has added to help its customers with ITOM. Intelligent Alert and Event Management offers a single pane of glass and AI enablement, which we'll return to in a later video focused on AI ops. Restorative automation and orchestration capabilities, including intelligent automation. Performance management analytics for devices, networks and applications, including digital experience management, or DEX capabilities. Device or client management capabilities, including patch management. Discovery capabilities, including CMDB, cloud discovery, and perhaps service mapping. People resource management capabilities, such as on-call management. Automated predictive support for ITSM's change deployment, release, problem availability, and capacity management practices. And focused cloud management capabilities. Some ITOM tools will offer additional capabilities outside of these two. In the second video in this ITOM series, I'll talk about ITOM and DevOps. To be alerted of this and for more ITSM and ITOM content, please subscribe to the Fresh Service YouTube channel. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye now.
All right. In the second video in the series, what is IT Ops, IT Operations Management, IT Ops Best Practices, and then DevOps. Okay, this video is almost 17 minutes. Before we start it, let's take a quick break. 10 minutes. Oh, does someone else come in? I've got an extra person here. Well, let me just do another screenshot. I figure out who came
I think
in.
it's me. I think there's a lag something in my computer, so it's showing 2 times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, thanks for letting me know. I just saw like
Yeah.
there was certainly an
Thank you.
extra panel. Not a
Yeah.
problem. Thanks for
Thank
letting me know. All right. So let's do this. Let's take a break. 10 minutes. It is 7 o'clock Pacific time. So let's make it 13 minutes. We'll come back at 7:15. And then we'll watch the next video and do the in-class activity. Okay. All right, let's continue on. Let me share my screen again and we'll continue on with the video. Hold on, did someone else come in? I know that, who was it? Shiraz, is it listed twice? Oh, wait a minute. Looks like I have an extra person.
Yeah, man, like I told you, like there's a lag or something in the computer. So
Yeah, I see you. But hold on. I had 18 with you, now I have 19. Well, that's okay, I'll figure it out later.
It's probably I joined a little bit late, Professor.
Oh, okay, all right, great. I'm glad that you made it in. Let me have you smile for the camera. All right, very good. Thank you. Okay, let me save that. And okay, so okay. All right, so you came in a little bit late. You missed a little bit of the lecture, but that's okay. We're going through the videos and then we're going to break into our, wait, where did you go? Hold on. I don't know what happened. Everybody just shifted around on the screen. That's weird. Oh, you're over here. Okay, I see you. All right, so I'm glad you made it in. Good, good, good. If you had any difficulty with GAP submitting assignments, because several students had that issue, just let me know. Email me, and if you weren't able to submit your assignment, just email it to me. That's not a problem. All right, so moving right along, let's go back here to the week 2 video. This one is, there we go. What is IT ops? So let me actually start this over. Hold on, let me make sure I shared with sound. It should be, but then we'll check for it. Yeah, okay. Should be able to hear it. All right, so wait for that to load. There we go. Okay.
Information Technologies Operations is the process responsible for acquiring, designing, deploying, configuring, and maintaining the physical and virtual components that comprise your IT infrastructure. Hi everyone, this is Kavya from EduWaker. Welcome to today's session on what is IT Ops. Before we begin, I'd like to address the agenda. Firstly, we will understand what is IT Ops and what does IT Ops really do. Then we will talk about some of the IT Ops processes and then compare IT Ops with DevOps. We will then move on and discuss the IT Ops best practices and what does an IT Ops manager really do. Finally, we'll conclude this session by discussing about AI Ops, that is the future of IT Ops. I hope the agenda is very clear. Kindly take up this time to subscribe to us and do not forget to hit that bell icon to never miss an update from the EduReka YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about new trending technologies, visit our page, the link to which is given in the description box below. So without much ado, let's get started. What is IT Ops? Now, the main question is, what is IT Ops and why do we really need it, right? IT operations refers to the set of processes and services that are administrated by an IT department within a larger organization of business. IT operations is one of the 4 defined functions in the ITIL best practices framework for IT service management, along with technical management, application management, and the service desk. As a discretely identified function of the IT organization, IT Ops often function as a distinct working group within the IT department. So an IT operations team really consists of a group of IT operators that is led by an IT operations manager. So in short, it just refers to a set of processes and services that are administrated by an IT team. Now that we know what is IT Ops, let's move on and understand what does IT ops do. So now an IT operations team can consist of IT operators managed by an IT operations manager or a cross-functional team of network and systems engineers, network security professionals, and other job titles that work together to manage and maintain the IT infrastructure. Now, the disciplined agile framework identifies some classifications for IT operations tasks, along with the connected activities that correspond to each strategic objective. So the first task of the IT operations team is to run solutions. Running solutions is the main reason that IT operations really exists. IT operators are responsible for performing data backups, restoring system after a service outage or update, configuring and tuning servers, and other configuration items to optimize their performance, and allocating IT resources where they are needed to promote effective service delivery. The next important task that they will have to perform is to manage infrastructure and configurations. Now, oversight of IT infrastructure is a key responsibility for IT operations managers. The IT infrastructure is comprised of computing and networking hardware, along with software applications that run on them. Infrastructure management includes oversight of hybrid cloud environments, applications deployed in the cloud, network security management, facilities management, and hardware IT infrastructure components. IT operations also must document hardware configurations and solution dependencies, as well as implement new configurations to promote optimal performance of the IT infrastructure and services. The next important task is they have to evolve infrastructure and govern IT operations. Now, IT operation plays a dominant role in day-to-day maintenance, but IT operators can and must act as innovators who work to evolve the infrastructure in a way that meets the demands of the business. This includes activities such as identifying impacts of change, applying software patches, and introducing new hardware and software applications to drive service performance. IT operations monitors and measures the performance of the IT infrastructure, including the IT organization's security posture. Now, it may also develop operational metrics to help evaluate the performance of key processes and services, manage software license compliance, and conduct infrastructure audits to verify that security and performance targets are being met.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on the video so far? Well, they're going a little bit fast, so if you have a question, just let me know. I've been following along with the, if they've got the subtitles, but I've noticed that some of the subtitles don't match what the person is saying, so you kind of have to, just kind of hear and watch at the same time, I guess.
Now, the last and the most important task is to mitigate disasters. IT operations teams are typically in charge of a business organization's disaster recovery plan. IT operations teams plan, simulate, and practice disaster recovery situations to protect the business from experiencing significant downtime and lost revenue if an unexpected problem or disaster causes a major service outage. Now that we have discussed the major tasks that the IT operation teams have to perform, now let's move on and talk about some of the IT ops processes. Now, typically reporting to the Chief Information Officer, IT operations creates management processes to accommodate all IT needs of an organization. Now, the four main IT operations management responsibilities are infrastructure management, development management, problem management, and security management. Now, I'll be discussing each of these in detail. The infrastructure management refers to the setup, provisioning, maintenance, and updating of all the hardware and software in the organization. And this could be anything related to physical servers, network infrastructure, operating systems, hypervisors, platforms, container environments, application software in on-premises data centers or in the cloud. It is the IT operations team's responsibility to ensure that all infrastructure components run smoothly and new solutions are integrated seamlessly. Whereas in development management, IT Ops provides exact guidelines, goals, security standards, and workflow that software development teams need to succeed. IT operations teams need to work closely with DevOps team members to integrate stability, performance, and security solutions into the development lifecycle. and to ensure compliance with service level agreements and industry and government regulations. In problem management, which is also called as incident management or event management, the first one is the preventative measures and the second one is reactive measures. Preventative measures anticipate and avoid the negative impact of changes to the IT environment. Reactive measures deal with outages, cyber attacks, and other problems as they occur and include implementation of disaster recovery and help desk services. Security is an integral part of IT service management and needs to be integrated with each of the before mentioned responsibilities. This includes keeping the hardware and software secure, managing access control, implementing security within DevOps processes, and ensuring security standards are met across the environment. So with this, we'll move on to the next most important comparison, that is IT Ops versus DevOps. Now, for all of y'all who don't know what DevOps is, DevOps was coined as a combination of the software development and information technology operations teams in the IT infrastructure. Some of the most common tasks of a DevOps engineer is to take in charge of ensuring CI/CD development, developing microservice architecture, automating the delivery pipeline, migrating software to new platforms, deploying custom IT infrastructure, etc. So let's move on and talk about some of the differences between IT Ops versus DevOps. First, we'll talk about the rigidity. Now, this includes adhering to standards and regulations in various security audits. IT Ops historically follows a precise and linear approach to installing, securing, and maintaining systems. Now, while this approach tends to reduce risks, it makes it hard to implement any quick changes. It is typically used for non-application related IT tasks and with commercial off-the-shelf software. On the other hand, the role of DevOps tries to be as flexible as possible, experimenting with different approaches to find the fastest and the most suitable solution. DevOps mostly uses agile software development methodology. And for all of you all who don't know what this methodology means, it really breaks the process into small increments called sprints, which gives the developers more freedom to apply frequent changes. The next difference is the delivery time. IT Ops' greatest concern is to provide a stable and secure infrastructure, and ensuring this requires a lot of time. Today's market dictates a fast pace of product development, which is very hard to follow with the traditional IT Ops approach. Now, when it comes to DevOps, everything about their role revolves around speed. DevOps means goals include shortening the software development lifecycle as well as shortening time to market. Now, since DevOps aims at speeding up the delivery process, they really have to act quickly and may fail to communicate the full extent of the changes to the rest of the organization. IT Ops is left with a system that changes its complexity at a rapid rate, which fuels frustration with the DevOps team, especially when tight deadlines are included. Now, every project requires a different approach, which is why the IT Ops teams needs to accommodate new infrastructure requirements. Now, for instance, the company can work on a big data project that requires a lot of storage, then move to a project where it's paramount to read data in the fastest way possible. Instead of waiting on IT Ops to develop new infrastructure, some DevOps decide to cut out the middlemen and get the infrastructure they need from a cloud service provider. This quick fix is sometimes very inevitable due to time restrictions, but it also poses a security risk. Now, since IT Ops has little control over the outsourced infrastructure, they can't always perform all necessary compliance and security audits or respond to a security issue in time. IT Ops versus DevOps working together. Now, the work of IT Ops and DevOps is very intertwined, creating many interdependencies. The two teams need to work together and communication is key. Now, if DevOps fails to keep IT Ops informed of changes, system stability and security is at risk. But if they wait on feedback from IT Ops in every iteration, now aligning your IT Ops and DevOps teams helps prevent conflicts and misunderstandings, and what really is more important is optimizes the software development process. Now that we know the differences between IT Ops and DevOps, let's go check out the IT Ops best practices. There are certain steps that must be followed by the IT Ops teams and the managers to get the best and optimum results. The first one is to pick one or two pain points with value. What simple processes or small tasks are important to your organization but are bogging your team down? Pick points that you can quickly and easily measure the value of once you are up and running. Now, once you've got your list of pain points, it's time to sell the value of your automation project to the key decision makers within the organization. Go over the benefits in detail and be prepared to counter any objections and show evidence of projected return on investment. The more prepared you are ahead of time, the better your chances of winning over the powers that be. Carefully evaluate available intelligent automation tools to help you choose the right product and then learn as much as you can about the one you choose so that you can truly convey the benefits that it will have for your business operations. Foster IT automation skills within your team. Make it clear to IT personnel that automation isn't something to fear, that it is not there to eliminate the jobs, but rather to make them more effective and productive and to provide the opportunity to enhance their skills, becomes more marketable and achieve more growth in their careers. Encourage communication between IT teams and business people. DevOps and automation go hand in hand with the shared goal of bridging the gap between IT personnel and those on the operational end of the technology. For optimum results, a solid relationship built on trust and open communication should be developed and fostered. Develop key performance indicators and measure results. Now, once you're up and running with automation, it's very critical that progress is continuously monitored, measured, analyzed, and modified accordingly. Develop a list of which performance indicators are most important to your organization and then measure regularly to ensure optimum results. In summary, organizations that follow these practices will not only increase agility and reliability, but they will also have a more productive, happier staff. Now, IT ops that know how to utilize these tools will have more opportunities for growth, both within the workplace and beyond, as demand for these skills continues to grow. Moving on, let's go check out the role of an IT ops manager. So each business or IT organization is entitled to establish its own set of rules and responsibilities for IT operations manager. In terms of the ITIL framework, the role of an IT ops manager is to assume control and overall responsibility for all service operation activities that are under the purview of IT operations. IT operations managers are the process owners for the IT operations control process, the goal of which is to exercise and maintain control over IT services and the connected underlying infrastructure. This includes overseeing the associated daily and routine tasks, such as workload scheduling, creating data backups, restoring systems after outages, and other regular maintenance activities. IT operations managers may also take on responsibility for facility management activities, which include the oversight and maintenance of the physical environment that houses the IT infrastructure and hardware. This key responsibility includes making sure that server rooms and data centers are adequately ventilated and air-conditioned to prevent overheating, and ensuring that backup systems are in place to maintain service availability if a power outage occurs. Now, the collective responsibility for facility management and IT ops control gives IT ops managers end-to-end deterministic control over insight and accountability with respect to the availability of IT services. With this, we're going to move to the last topic of this session, AI Ops, the future of IT Ops. Now, IT infrastructure components, applications, and performance monitoring tools generate huge volumes of IT operations data, volumes that increase rapidly as organizations undertake digital transformation and adopt cloud computing services and hybrid cloud environments. In fact, global research and advisory firm Gartner estimates that the average enterprise IT infrastructure generates 2 to 3 times more IT operations data every year. Now, in order to better deal with and leverage this data, IT operation teams are relying less on domain-based IT management tools and manual monitoring and intervention, and turning to increasingly to data-driven AI-powered automation, launching what's known now as AI Ops. According to Gartner, which coined the term in 2017, AI Ops enables IT operation teams to be more agile and responsive by helping them with separate significant event alerts from the noise of the surrounding IT operations data. It also identifies root causes of problems and proposed solutions. It automates incident management and response, including real-time responses and proactive resolutions. It also achieves the visibility and automation needed to support DevOps teams without added management effort. And finally, it will allow you to learn continually to improve response to and prevention of future issues. With this, we've come to the end of this session of What is IT Ops? I hope you had a great time learning about it. If you have any queries, feel free to comment them in the comment section below. Until next time, thank you.
I hope you have enjoyed listening to this video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries
So, IT ops. So for the live class activity, basically review this week's articles and videos in small groups, depending on class size, discuss how IT is managed within your organizations. Would you say it is integrated or that the IT strategy is aligned with the business strategy? What do you think needs to change in the IT operations management strategy within your organizations? Okay, if you are not working in an IT field, you can use the school or perhaps use a company that's a well-known company. So this is the live class activity. What I'm going to do is, let me stop sharing. I'm going to place everyone into groups. We're going to do it the breakout rooms. Were there any questions before we do this on the video, or what is the assignment? Okay, so
Yeah.
similar to last week. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, Professor. Are we going to do some performance after discussion or no?
If you'd like to do like a PowerPoint or something like that, that's fine. But if your group would just rather discuss your findings, that's fine as well.
Oh, cool.
Good question, by the way. All right, so let's see. We've got 18 people. So let's have groups of 4. Oh, there'll be a group that's just 2 if I do it that way. Well, we can do groups of 5. We'll do it like that. And we'll do 4. And I'll just add 2, actually, because we have an extra, who is it? Siraj. Oh, Siraj, did you get that resolved?
Yes, I
You're
think it was
muted.
just a glitch. Yeah, I think it was just a glitch, I
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Thank
All right,
you.
so let me do the breakout rooms. You're welcome. And let's see. Let's do 4 breakout rooms. And then I'll just assign automatically. Some groups will have 4 and some will have 5. Okay. All right, everyone. That's still waiting on a couple of people. Okay, it'll kick everyone out in another minute. So, well, actually, another few seconds. All right. So, what we'll do is, let's do this. Who would like to go first? Now, it was not required to do a PowerPoint, but if you did one, that's okay as well.
I can go first.
We said it at the same time. You can pick.
It's okay, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh,
Natima, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have a presentation, Professor. We just like have some points we can talk about.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's great.
Since none of us like worked in IT, and I didn't think we're gonna find a lot about like IT for the university. I don't know why that I thought that, but I picked Walmart as the company, and I see that it's like can go both ways or can be seen both ways. Like it has integrated like the system, and also IT strategy is also aligned with the business strategy, because I think they always are. Integration for like Walmart, I see it like with a lot of things like supply chain manager, where they use data analytics also and logistics to see like the management of the inventory, how to reduce costs for the items and maybe make it more competitive and compare it with the competition, how to improve the delivery time. This I see it happening because I researched before about this, and I see like them using AI to give the drivers, the truck drivers, the best routes, which reduces the time and also reduces the cost, and also it reduced carbon emission by a lot. I remember like reading an article about that and adding it to my paper. And they also they have like they focus a lot on customer experience and customer like innovation, and they have a lot of e-commerce platforms. They have the mobile app, they have the physical and online stores. They also have like in-store technologies like self-checkout, but they also have the Ask Sam. Like last week I was like at Walmart, and it was the first time I've ever seen like a worker, like he told me like, wait 1 second, I'll ask Sam. And I was like, I finally like saw somebody using it in front of me, and it was like really, really helpful. Like it gave me like the answer to my question that I asked like the person working there so fast. And
wonderful.
Yeah, and they also, by using data analytics, they can basically know the market trends. They can know the customer demand, the customer like preferences, and also the customer behavior, and how the trends like changes with behavior too. It can show how also by using data analytics, it can show for example, my professor last time told me like they use data analytics in I don't remember the specific supermarket, but like the specific state, but they have hurricanes a lot there, and when this like period of hurricanes, before that time, people go and buy a lot of stuff from the supermarket, and by using data analytics, they knew that they buy a lot of Pop-Tarts and beer together. I don't know, and a lot of like them. So they by using that, they know how the demand is gonna be, or how to like put the stuff in store like next to each other, maybe even do like a deal about them. I don't know.
It was probably Florida.
Okay. I don't remember the exact state, but I remember him talking about it, and we all laughed because none of us thought about beer and Pop-Tarts, not even like them separately, and like them being together and being bought like in huge amounts. He was like telling us how much like analytics actually helps the stores, like because they know the demand of each store now, so they can actually stock up the right way. My friend will talk just about what they can enhance on IT strategy or management. I think it was the question.
Okay, so thank you so much, Tima. I'll go ahead and talk about what improvements can be made, like in the current alignment of IT with the business strategy. First thing, it can be cloud migration. I'm not honestly sure whether Walmart has cloud services built up or everything is on premise. It's assuming they have like partially moved to cloud, but we would suggest that Walmart utilizes some cloud services, which gives better scope for scalability and flexibility. Like as Seema mentioned, the number of customers increases on a day-to-day basis. So having cloud solutions is more preferable as the scalability is easy compared to on-premise. And the next one, we can talk about the innovation that IT department could lead. As we saw in the video as well, we were talking about AI ops management, where IT department can use the existing or develop or include new technologies which can use the existing data and provide AI-powered product recommendations. It can also help with operational efficiency, like how the inventory management is done currently. Do we want to increase scale up or something like that? And then one more thing would be Walmart has like two kinds of IT department, I think. One would be the online IT services where we have mobile app, website, and everything, and the other one is in-store. Like having metrics that can analyze both of them together, that would be another useful way IT can manage and make suggestions. And finally, we can talk about cybersecurity. As the consumer data increases on daily basis, it makes sense to have a sound cybersecurity team where the IT department have strategies of planning made on how to make sure that any kind of issue occurs with the customer data, how can it be? Yeah, that's it.
All right, very good.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, so that was room 1. All right, did anyone else from room, I'll just say group 1. Did anyone else from group 1 have anything else to add?
Yeah, I think Walmart can also invest in like advanced warehouse management systems, because yeah, the Walmart has a vast warehouse management system, but upgrading to a streamline where like the warehouses can operate through automation, so which would eventually increase the efficiency.
All right, very good. Anyone else from group 1? All right, are there any questions for group 1? Okay, I kind of have a question. I'm just going to give an experience that I had that was very recent. I would say it was within the last year. And I'm glad you picked Walmart because it's a perfect example. I went to buy something online that I was just going to go and drive up and pick up. And I wanted to place my order online. And I have a dog. You might hear him snoring over here. So I was going to get the bag of dog food. And the bag was not the ginormous bag, not the 50-pound bag, but like the 18-pound, the medium-sized bag, I would say. Not the tiny bag, like the 8 to 20-pound bag. It used to be 20 pounds, I don't think. Anyway, the price was incorrect because the price in the store was a different price than the price online. The price online for that particular size bag was the same price as the 50-pound bag. And I knew it was not correct because I know what it should have cost. So I went into the store to get this brand of dog food, and I asked several people who worked there, hey, your price online is wrong. And I showed it to them on my phone, and they didn't know who to call or who to ask. And I thought that is not very good management skills. They should have a way of contacting chain of command or whoever's in charge of that to be able to make that change if a customer notices something. And I noticed it was wrong for a long time, and I didn't know who else to, I'm not going to go and call corporate. I'm just going to go in there and get it because it's not a big deal. But it was something that I told at least 3 different people that worked there, and none of them knew who to contact to resolve it. And so I thought that's odd because, yes, I know it's not a giant, it's not one of the super duper Walmarts, it's a small one, but they do have a grocery aisle where you can get things. And it's something where every employee, I felt, should have a way of contacting someone if there's a problem to get it resolved. Wouldn't that make sense? that they would have a way or a chain of command in order to resolve something. And I thought, a company as large as Walmart, you know, you've probably heard of some companies where they have a very user-friendly interface, and they're very good with their customers and with their employees, and everyone has a way of, let me just say, there's a suggestion box, you know, there's something where things like that are encouraged. And then there's other companies you probably have noticed, or you may have worked with them, or you may not have. That is not the case. And they're very difficult to work with. And it's a chore, and no one likes their job, and everyone goes and they're angry and they can't wait to get out of there, and they don't want to. You really want to have an environment where people are happy to come in. People have a way of making change if there's a problem without having to go through, how should I put it? Without having to go through a brick wall in order to get something resolved. And so that was my, and that was just one company. I've actually, in the past, I've told you in it before, I'm at the first class, I'm actually pretty old, you know, so I can remember times where there was no cloud. You know, if you saw a picture like a Cisco diagram of a network, the internet was always depicted as this cloud. And so years later, you know, this was like the early 1990s. And so years later, cloud computing came about. It's just your server and everything is located offsite, basically. I mean, it's different. It's more complex than that, but that was the general idea. Years ago, there were companies that, if you saw, and I mentioned this earlier as we were going through the article, if you saw people, if they saw people sitting around not looking like they were working, those were people that were usually let go. And sometimes you would have managers that didn't understand what was going on. They didn't understand the process. They didn't understand how important the IT people were. They thought it was a drain on the company. And so I've seen that in more than one place, where these people who actually did a lot of the backups, so they ran a lot of things in the back end, or they went out to sites and made sure all of the sites were working. Those people were viewed as being very expensive, and then they were let go. And it was interesting when this would happen, because it was like they were let go because no one knew what they did. And then when there was a problem, who were they going to call? So that it turned out to be a situation. But using Walmart or any large company was very good. It was a very good presentation. Thank you very much, Group 1. All right. Group 2.
Hello, everyone. I want to talk about what we discussed in our group. So I want to talk about my experience in my current job. I'm working at a startup in Australia. But everybody in that startup is working remotely. So it's an IT job, and it's SaaS, like a software as a service. And we are working in industry of automation and helping the people with some kind of disability. So it's kind of healthcare startup that we are working on. And the problem we encounter is that in our startup, the manager is actually paying lots of attention to IT team. So he's just putting so much effort and all the resources in IT. So everything about backend, frontend, the site, the application is perfectly arranged and managed by our COO and chief operation and chief technology manager. But the part which is related to CEO is that, for example, finding good groups of salespersons, or like to market it better. So this startup I'm working for, lacks of marketing team and sale team. So that's why they couldn't, in almost 2 years, sell to a simple person. Just they couldn't find any participant, and also they couldn't find any investor. So this, and we are telling the CEO over and over that everything about IT is perfectly arranged and managed, but what we lack is sale and marketing, and we just have to go there. You just have to present it in different occasions, and just the networking about what we are doing all these times. But no, and this disalignment led to resource misallocation, and we are not agile anymore, and we have a great chance of failure after 2 years, and everyone gonna just lose their job. So my
Okay.
friend will present, or yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yes, I'm gonna share my professional experience. I work as a Scrum Master, so I work closely with a lot of product owners, and their job is to prioritize features from the business perspective. So a lot of times we feel pressured, the development team feels pressured to deliver features quickly. So over time, it has created a big problem. We have a lot of technical debts because we prioritized speed over a quality code. Now we're trying to address these issues. We have a huge backlog for technical that's where we need to fix vulnerabilities. We've been using some platforms such as SonarQube, and we have a huge backlog because throughout the time we didn't pay much attention to this important topic. And it's really important that the IT and the business work together, because it can, because we have so many technical debts, we can have like a cyber attack, and that can damage the brand of the company, and we could lose our stocks can go down, we can lose shareholders, but like the business don't think this in the long term. And so now we're trying to solve this issue, but it's been very challenging because we have limited resources, developers to work on these technical issues and deliver new features. This is just an experience I have right now.
Yeah. Thank you, Glosha. I also want to talk about my little experience with my firm. I just thought of it not quite long that I can share this. Actually, I work with a supply chain firm, and my role there is it's like an inbound and outbound logistic coordinator. Basically, in the morning I carry out an audit. Initially, when we don't have one of the enterprise system management, which is YMS, yard management system, when we don't have it, we manually carry out the morning audit. So, and when we have any form of discrepancies, probably we have we don't have a particular trailer in the yard, and we fail to check it out on the warehouse management system. So we kind of have a kind of conflict between the information we have on the book and the warehouse management system. So, but when the company, when the IT department thought about, okay, can we have another enterprise system that can also, that we can also check when we have such discrepancies? So they integrated what we call the YMS, Yard Management System. So whenever probably in the shipping department, we have a trailer that is coming in to load, and maybe for instance UPS, FedEx, when they come in, those ones used to come, they drop their trailers and they go back. So whenever they come like that, sometimes those who the shipping clerk make a mistakes, like, okay, this particular trailer is in the yard, we call it assets, so it's in the yard, and a new driver came in to pick it up and drop another trailer, but the shipping clerk, sometimes she, maybe due to human error, she made a mistake of not checking it out, and she would record it that it's been checked out, but she will not check it out on the YMS. So this brings a lot of issues. So they created the YMS in order to also check the data we have in the WMS, which is the warehouse management system. So since we had that, we've never had conflict. So this actually also talks about when you integrate IT into business, it promotes it enhances the business, and it also puts confidentiality in whatever you're doing.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Anyone else from group 2? All right, were there any questions for group 2? Okay, all right, group 3.
So, Professor, as we selected like multiple topics from that, everyone is going to talk about different topics. I'm going to
Okay,
start
sure.
with security. How important is security in the business strategy? It's like it should be one of the top priorities in any business strategy. For the implications are there nowadays, increasing of frequency, cyber threats, making it essential for business to invest in robust security measures. Additionally, proactive security stance can provide a competitive advantage by ensuring the business can adapt to and thrive in an increasing digital and interconnected world. It's gonna prioritize to security. It's like prioritizing security because it can protect their assets, their main operational community, and build trust with the stakeholders as well. As I was in the last class, I was in my project management class, and I really felt how important the stakeholders and the IT department is while you're developing a project and everything, especially when you run a test and everything. As I'm new in IT sector, so I'm learning all these new things now. As far I'm getting more fan towards the security side a lot. As like the example is like Apple. Nowadays we are we young generation people, we buy Apple phones, MacBooks and everything is just like a show thing. But the people who actually into this, they know how important Apple is and how different ways it can give you a security options as well. That's one of the examples, like so far I have got to know, like in my real life as well. I used to hear it from my elder brothers about it, but I don't used to believe them in that time. Like I used to think, oh, they are just fan of Apple, but now I'm realizing how important it is.
All right, very good.
Yeah, so Professor, based on my past experience, so there was a question in the discussion, like would you say it is the IT is integrated or the IT strategy is aligned with the business strategy or not? So I would say that like in my past experience, IT strategy is aligned with the business strategy, because IT strategy like supports the overall business strategy, and also like initiatives are designed to enable the business goals and objectives. And if I talk about the second question in the discussion, like what do you think needs to change in the IT operation management strategy within like my past organization? So I will go with the talent development, because continuous training and development programs for IT staffs will give a good management strategy. Also, like fostering a culture of continuous learning and innovation can make the IT team well and good. And and by adopting these practices and focusing on continuous improvement, like any organization can ensure that their IT operations are only aligned with the business strategy, but also like drive innovation and a very competitive advantage in the team.
All right.
So yeah, this is all about my past experience.
Okay. Excellent.
I'm also from group 3, so actually I come from a similar background with some of our classmates. Actually, I come from supply chain management. I'll also kind of talk about the current strategy of my company, but this is also where I see the more happening most often with majority of the supply chain related industry stuff. So I think one of the things that we're trying to do at this point is automation. So 2 things of automation. One is kind of the physical automation, that basically in the warehouse, you can, I think some of us already know that, like Amazon, they have like robot pickers, and also some other bigger companies of smaller companies also use that or going there. I think that's a trend. The other thing that is more like commonly used would be the transactions automation. Basically, instead of hiring a fact analyst just to process orders, do all those transactions in the WMS system, going to billing. So I think everybody trying to basically get EDI set it up so that nobody has to, process anything. It's more like it's only the beginning and the ending, like those 2 sections. The people over there may still have to communicate something out, but in the middle, I guess you are trying to eliminate majority of this capacities as well. So I mean, sadly, I think it just become a bigger direction just for for the sake of cost saving, also data integration. It's not like good or bad, but I think the trend is here. So
all right, very good.
I'm the last member of room number 3. Basically, to summarize, we discussed the individual opinions of each other because we have very, very different backgrounds. An example, me, I used to work in QA testing, and I would like to highlight the project managing because and communication because it involves like all member of the team, and also it's very, very important to make your clients' demands clear to the team, so the outcome product will be satisfying to the client. But yeah, I agree with all statements. Yeah, that's I would like to conclude our discussion like that. Thank you.
All right, very good. Very good. Group 3, room 3. Does anyone have any questions for room 3? Excellent job. Okay. Our last room 4.
Hello, Professor. Hello, everyone. So for room 4, what we did was we just discussed is everyone in the group, wherever they are working, does their IT department align with their company objectives? And it was unanimously yes, if the IT department does align with the company objectives. So one of the examples was to state my example of my company. My company works in silicon chip designing. So the IT department in my company has all the necessary tools and softwares to request new machines, place, get requests to lab, then any maintenance or license request for new softwares or tools which are required for these specific business needs. And also there are CRM tools and other software which are maintained by IT department to place orders for new chips, or just have a continuous open line for placing orders with all the vendors and at the same time with the customers. Another thing is, see, now that my company has started integrating AI into its everyday businesses. The IT department in my company has created tools, came up with the privacy policy, created trainings and many other documentation for all the employees to how to access these Microsoft Copilot from within the company and still safeguard the company data. So IT department has done that. So in that way, you can say the objectives and IT department has been aligned. One more point which was mentioned was not all departments or sub-departments within IT will always have their goals aligned with the company. So to give you an example, a cybersecurity infrastructure development team of IT, their main goal is not exactly aligned with, say, the company goal, because if the company is a retail market like Walmart or Target, they still need to have cybersecurity built within their system, but it's not the main goal of the company. So it cannot be like the IT department's all objective will always be aligned, but it should be helping directly or indirectly in that. So this one was one of the points which was mentioned. So the changes suggested were that company can invest more on IT support, innovation, and long-term business strategies, so that not just in short term or the near future, but like a 5-year or 10-year plan of where the company wants to go and how IT department can come up with the same kind of a plan where they can converge at some point. And I think one more thing that I have observed is sometimes when the organizations get too big, the processes can become tiresome, or like the bureaucracy keeps on increasing, because now you'll need multiple levels of approvals and new regulations come in, like few red tape just keeps on adding in and nobody gets time to take those out. So I think so it would be a great help for everyone if there's like a review, a periodical review of do we really need all of these processes in line, or can we streamline those? So these were one of the changes suggested. So I guess these were all the things we discussed. If anyone wants to add anything. Thank you.
All right, very good. Was there anyone else from group 4? Are there any questions for group 4? All right, well, Niraj, you made a very good point as far as streamlining some of the systems, especially if there's redundancies, things like that. If there's a way where you mentioned the role of IT and cybersecurity teams were not necessarily aligned with the company goals. That's another really important point that you brought up. Things need to be, teams need to be aligned with what the company goals are. A lot of times, if there are projects that are expensive and they need to be funded, it has to be, how should I say, pitched to the upper management to let them know what the worth would be, just to prevent incidents from occurring. If upgrades need to be made, a lot of times, and this was in the past, I'm not sure, I can't really speak to today, but for example, Windows Server. You have Windows Server, Windows NT 3.51, and you have Windows NT 4.0, and you have Windows Server, what was after that one? Windows Server 2000, Windows Server 2003, Windows Server 2008, and Windows Server 2012, and Windows Server 2016. Then you had, the whole Office 365, it emerged. But for example, with Microsoft, when you upgraded, for example, if you went from Server 2008, for example, to Server 2012 or Server 2016, and you backed up everything to Server 2008, you could not restore those backups to, like, for example, Server 2016. They wouldn't work. And so you had to have a plan of action as far as migrating data. When you have a large company, a large bureaucracy, things tend to get, and it's still true to some extent, things tend to get lost in the shuffle. You'll have certain areas, certain portions of the company that may not know what the other portions are doing, and they need to align. So you may have some systems, as you mentioned, that might be redundant and others that aren't. So having a plan of action is very, very important as far as the company goals are concerned. And if you have cybersecurity IT goals, because it can cause some problems. So you make a really good point with that. Did anyone have any questions on the assignment or on the discussion assignment? No questions. Okay. All right, everyone. Looks like we're going to end a little bit early this time. If you do have any questions for me, or if you have any more or any issues with GAP being unable to submit your assignments, let me know. Send me an email, please, and then email those assignments to me. All right, everyone. It was a pleasure seeing all of you. I hope everyone had a great holiday weekend, 4th of July. Take care and be well, and have a great day.
Thank you, Professor. Have a good
Yeah,
night,
you
Professor.
too.
Thank you, Professor.
Professor. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, good night, Professor.
Okay, thank you
Good
very
night,
much.
Professor. Good night.
Okay, thank you very much.
Professor, I just had
Yes.
one question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have uploaded the week 1 assignment on the GAP, but like I think you have not graded it. So like
Nope. Holiday weekend. It'll get
holiday
done by
weekend.
tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. I thought
I also had some issues getting in.
yeah.
And so I'm gonna have to do a ticket. I had to go and refresh to get it to show.
Yeah, the GAP was not
And
working the last
It
week.
wasn't working properly. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
so
not
some
working.
assignments have been graded and some were not. So I will get to those and try to get all of those
Okay, no
graded by
problem.
tomorrow.
No
If I
problem,
don't have any more issues. 'Cause I
Okay,
had
no
tried getting in earlier today and it was like, oh, I see why they couldn't get in. It's giving you it was giving that error message of
Yeah.
the turn it in. And
Yeah.
it wasn't showing, I couldn't see any of the students' assignments. I was
Mhm.
like, oh, come on, this is probably, I don't know if it was an issue with maybe because of holiday weekend, or just some issues with GAP or turn it in. But
Okay.
yeah, it was an issue. So I'll
It's
try
okay,
and get those
Professor. No
graded
problem.
tomorrow.
I'll
All right,
wait
thank
for
you.
next week. Thank you. Good night.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Can I also ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I just joined today, and what's the deadline for VCS assignment for week 1?
Ooh, it should be today, but if you need more time, that's fine. Just turn it in. Try and get it in this week. Try and get it in by Wednesday. Did you
By
just
when?
join today?
Yeah, I just joined today, and I'm in Central Time, so I need to sleep right now.
Oh,
Yeah, I wish
hey,
I
I'm
could do it,
Eastern.
right
I'm
now, but
Eastern, so I'm an hour even
oh,
further back. You can see my clock there, 11:40.
oh, yeah, it's 11 o'clock. My body telling me like go to sleep.
Okay, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Just get that in. Get that into me this week. If you need to view the Zoom recording, it should be there, and just do the VCS assignment. That's not.
Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna do it tomorrow and post it and probably email you as well. And
Alright.
do I need to submit only VCS, or do I need to submit the discussion as well if I have an access?
There was no discussion question for week 1. There
Oh,
was just the assignment and then the VCS assignment.
oh,
So
perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow and I'll let you know. Thank you very much for the class.
okay, you're welcome. Welcome, class. We try to have fun. And yes, as I mentioned, I'm an older person. So these things probably, some of them things are probably not relevant anymore, but in some cases they might be because
Oh,
when
are you in
when I
PA
mentioned that,
or New
when I
York?
mentioned that happening where they would lay off people because I it happened to me in more than one place. You know, different companies would do this. And so it's probably changed, you know, the way IT is grown nowadays, but maybe not. It's hard to say. That's why I always say, you know, when you get out, make sure you're looking busy. Because if nothing ever happens, if nothing ever fails, they would wonder, why do we need IT people? They lay them off. And then something would happen.
Joining
and
right
then-
now.
Oh yeah, see, some people were having issues with internet and getting knocked off. So Yashawi is coming back in. So. All right.
All
So
right.
anyway,
Thank you so much again.
welcome
and
aboard. Glad to see
yeah.
you.
Have a good night.
Okay, take care and be well. Bye-bye.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, Yashawi. Good to see you. How are you?
Yeah. Sorry, Professor. I emailed you that I was traveling, that I couldn't attend the class.
Yes, I remember, and I said that was fine. You can just do the
Yeah.
VCS assignment.
Yeah, I thought class would be there. Like I joined late. Yeah. Okay, Professor. So apologies. Like I couldn't cancel the travel plans because of work.
It's fine. That happens. But you were here though today, were you not?
No, I joined late. I'm not sure if I was captured.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Well, let me do a screenshot with you in it since I see you here now. What time did you join? Do you remember?
I think it like almost at the end while we were discussing.
Okay.
It's
All
been
right.
like
So
20 minutes, I think.
okay. Well, you got to see the, hold on, let me save this. I've got you here. Well, I'm glad you were able to join us. We basically went over the video. There were 2 videos and then that assignment, and then there was just the in-class assignment.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But since you,
Yes.
and I hope you had a great holiday weekend.
Yes, Professor.
Hi.
Yeah. Thanks, Professor.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.